Hello and welcome to this first video in this new Conquer Depression mini-series. Now, I am really excited about this series of videos because it's going to give me the opportunity to share with you some fresh insights into the nature of depression and how to recover from depression, and also to dispel some commonly held myths. So in this first video, I want to talk about what depression is and some ideas about what causes depression. I'm going to go on in the next video to shed some insights into my perspectives on what causes depression and how to recover from it. So if we think about depression and the way people look at it now, there are three main causes that we generally hear of when thinking about the nature of depression. Those three causes are either it's genetic, it's a chemical imbalance within your brain, or it's the result of some rather nasty life circumstances. Now, whilst there possibly is some truth in some elements of these, there is a great deal of myth that goes with them as well. So when it comes to genetic, over the last, 5 to 10 years, there seems to have been this idea of trying to seek a genetic answer to problems, to hone in on a particular gene that we can blame for things. Yet there is also another movement within science that says, well, actually, it's not that there is a gene that is the cause of certain things, it's that we have genetic expression. So we have a blueprint of genes, and given the right circumstances, certain genes are turned on and off. So as we interface with our environment, there is what they call genetic expression. So it's simply put, not the case that you either have or don't have a gene for depression. There may be a family history of depression which could increase your predisposition to experience depression given the right circumstances, but it certainly does not mean that you will have depression. So the second thing is the chemical imbalance theory. Now, this is one of my favourites because this seems to be such a commonly held idea. Now, about 5 or 6 years ago within the UK, there was a survey conducted by the British Psychological Society, and they asked all the psychologists within the UK to put forward their ideas for what they thought were the worst theories, worst ideas of mind in the last 100 years. And in that top 5 was the chemical imbalance theory of depression. And the reason for that is that there appears to be no hard and fast evidence that suggests that a chemical imbalance within your brain causes depression. Now, it could be that in certain cases and certain circumstances, a chemical imbalance may coexist with depression, but it doesn't mean it causes depression. One of the kind of foundations of good science is the idea that correlation and causation are different things. So correlation does not mean causation. So even though we often hear this idea that a chemical imbalance is the cause of depression, therefore the only answer is medication, that's not strictly true. So, I think it's really worth taking that on board. It's such a common idea, and maybe taking medication is not the answer, or not the only answer. Certainly, as far as I'm concerned, it's not the answer, because the chemical imbalance is not necessarily the cause, probably isn't the cause, then we're not dealing with the cause by just taking medication. The third thing is life circumstances, so environmental effects. Now, there is some truth in this because we can't really extract ourselves from our environment. Even though our experience all comes from inside of us, and I will go on to talk about that in later videos, we really can't extricate ourselves from our environment. We can't discount the energetic nature of our environment. So life circumstances do play a part. But what is very, very important is that we are not victims of life circumstances. We play a far greater role in the creation of our experience than we currently think. So much of our emotional experience comes from two things: the meaning that we imprint upon the world and the way that we interface with the world. So we really are the creators of our experience, and the more we see that, the more we embrace that idea, that principle, the easier it becomes to take control of our lives, to create lives that we want, rather than remaining in a disempowered space feeling that we are simply victims of circumstance. So in the next video, I'm going to talk a little bit more about what I believe really causes depression. I hope that first video is useful to you. Look forward to seeing you in the next one.